Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Elite City Podcast. Believe it or not, it is Grand Slam time, and this is the Grand Slam preview show. It's just Rick and I today. So, how you doing, sir?
I'm good. Lots of snow.
Yeah, up your way. Yeah, you're getting crushed. I'm looking at my computer now, and just in the 30 minutes that we've been pre-chatting, it went from freezing rain to now it says snow. So it must be snowing. Snowing down my end. So before I forget, we are at Elite City Pod on all social media. Anybody that follows us new, welcome. I've interacted with a couple of you this past week, so I hope you're listening. We have Grand Slam, which is here already, which it's like, where did time go? It makes zero sense. Like, it seems like they announced this yesterday and it was a year away or 6 months or whatever. And now it's here. There's a buzz about this show. It's exciting. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, I like it because it's when they announced Grand Slam, technically they never said it was a pay-per-view. So we were always wrong to assume that it was. But when they planned it initially to be in a stadium, we assumed it was a pay-per-view. And I think if they had sold 50,000 tickets to a stadium, it would have been a pay-per-view.
100%.
But it's also not just like a collision. Like, it's better. It's a better card than like a random episode of TV. So yeah, it's exciting. I said last week, I think it's the right call to have a bunch of Australian wrestlers be competing for titles on it. Like, it's exactly the right call. Like, it makes perfect sense. But I just love because they're like, oh, we'll go to Australia. So hey, Harley Cameron, Buddy Matthews, guess what? You're number one contenders.
Absolutely. Hey, it's the way.
But it makes sense. It makes perfect sense, and it's going to be a fun show. And yeah, it's exciting.
It is. It's like. Like I said, where did this time go? It just seems like they announced this and there was 6 months to go. And then here we are. And it like with this roster too, the people that are there now, we're going to go over the card here in a minute, but the, 12 or 20 people that are over there, obviously they're not going to be on TV right away next week because you got to catch back up. But with this roster, it's nice to not have to break people.
Yeah.
Like
we were saying before we went on air that like it is a little strange to fly 24 hours to do like a 3-hour wrestling show and then just fly 24 hours. Like, I would have expected them to do like, because it's in Brisbane, Australia, right?
Yes.
I would have expected them to do like Melbourne and Sydney and then like done a few cities. Totally. And then like, spend a week or two there and then come back. Like, they do that when they come to Canada. They do, Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton. They don't just go do one of them. So it's a little odd to fly all the way to Australia to do one show. But like, hey, if they want to do it, go for it.
Yeah, like, I mean, I understand we live in the world of spoilers, and if they, with the way, I think it's for the East Coast, I think it's like 15 hours. I looked up.
Yeah, difference. It's very different. It's basically night when it's day here.
Right. So they would, like, if they would go there and tape TV, the only thing would, obviously it would be on the internet before it aired. But I agree with you. Like, it is odd to just go there for like, 40 hours and then come home.
Yeah, because like right now we're recording this and it's 9:12 p.m. on Thursday night. It's 12:12 p.m. on Friday. Like, it's the afternoon the next day there. So yeah, the time is it is going to take them some time. Like, I can't see Toni Storm being on Dynamite if she's going to fly to Australia, and then she's not just maybe she'll fly right back and show up on Dynamite on Wednesday, but like, that would be pretty tough.
Right. And like I said, at least you have a roster where these 20 people, refs and ring crew and all that, so it's probably more than 20, but these 100 people, like, hey, just stay home for a week and catch back up on sleep and
24-hour flight and 12-hour time difference.
That's I hate being on a plane for 20 minutes, let alone 20 hours. Anyways, we're going to go over the card right now. Again, I don't know if this is the order. This is the order that the poster is on, except I changed the main event. because I think Toni Storm should be the main event, not the tag match.
I can't see Toni Storm not being the main event.
Right.
I know that the tag match is a huge match, but it's Toni Storm in Australia.
And I understand it's Toni Storm. I mean, excuse me. I understand it's the four. It's Kenny Omega and Ospreay, Takeshita and Fletcher, and that's, you know, you put those guys on there to sell it. But the main event definitely should be the women's title. I'm just
definitely.
So this is the order that they had on the poster. So we're going to start with the Continental Championship, Kazuchika Okada versus Buddy Matthews. I think this is the title that changes hands. One of the titles that changes hands. I think Matthews beats Okada, and this is going to be the final nail in the Elite as we knew its coffin. My opinion.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see Matthews winning, and it would kind of end both the whatever was happening with the Elite storyline, and kind of put an end to the fun. I mean, it's over, but it ends the House of Black too. Like they're no longer a teammate; they're individual single stars. The only way I couldn't see Buddy Matthews winning is if they want Toni Storm to be the only title change to make it mean more. But I think Buddy Matthews will win.
There are, well, there's not rumors. There are 4 Ring of Honor matches now announced for either the beginning of this show or just for the audience. I bet you they throw a title change in over there too, just to make it not just one title change.
Right.
You know, like I could see Lee Moriarty losing his belt. I don't know if it's for the belt though. I should put that out there too.
Yeah, I like that they're doing Ring of Honor matches because it is a little weird to have just like everyone kind of expected this to be a pay-per-view type show, and the quality of the matches is, but like AEW pay-per-views are like 4 hours long. Right. If you went there expecting a 4-hour show and it's only a 2-hour show, I could see it being disappointed. So adding the Ring of Honor stuff helps.
Totally. So who do you have? I'm sorry.
I think Buddy. I'm going to say Buddy Matthews.
Both of us, Buddy. Okay.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I hope it's him because I was telling you this before we started recording a couple days ago that I would like the Hounds of Hell to be like an occasional team. They're an alliance. They're always with each other. Like they're not split up. They support each other. They show up with each other, but I don't want them to be a full-time tag team. I think that they're both such good singles wrestlers. Like Buddy Matthews should have a title. I think Brody King, I've thought for a while, Brody King should have a singles title. They're super good. They're over. They're great wrestlers. And I don't think they should win the tag belts. So I would like to see them be like 2 singles wrestlers that occasionally tag together.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's if, you know, Buddy needs somebody to have his back. Like he wouldn't have to ask around. You would just assume that Brody. Yeah, I get that. I like that too.
And I want Okada to be doing something different. So him losing the belt would allow him to do that.
And I don't want to say like he needs to go away. That was the wrong choice of words. But I mean, he's had this good run. You know, maybe if he loses it, or after he loses it, maybe take him off. I don't want to say for a long time, but like give him like a month off of TV and then have him come back. Like I said, I'm not like, I don't have Okada fatigue or anything, but just give him time to reinvent.
Yeah, give him a bit of time away, and then he can come back when Kenny's done with his stuff with the Don Callis family, and they can go into Kenny versus Okada, and that doesn't need belts. That just needs Kenny Omega versus Okada. Doesn't need anything else.
That's all you need. And then we're going to have the TBS Championship with Mercedes, obviously, versus Australia's own Harley Cameron. And within the past month, Harley Cameron has become a major player.
Like obviously she got a push because she's Australian.
Right.
But she's taken advantage of that. Like she's become a star in like the last, month or so.
And I mean, you could say what you want about her in the ring. I mean, we've talked about it. She's very green, but her skill everywhere else, like, I mean, she's a great actress. She is, give her a microphone, she'll make you laugh, she'll make you cry. I mean,
and her acting in the ring is good, if that makes sense. Like, she knows how to position herself. Like, she's not maybe technically skilled as much as a lot of other wrestlers are, but like, she knows how to tell a story in the ring. She like has good facial expressions. She does good acting while she's wrestling. Like, she's good at all that stuff. Like that's harder to teach, I feel, than technical skill. I feel like you put her in a room with Danielson for a couple weeks and she can learn the technical aspects of wrestling. I think it's the other stuff that's harder, personally.
Totally. Yeah, no, that
because there's a million wrestlers who are great technical wrestlers, but just they don't have characters. They don't play to the camera. They don't, but she has all that. She's already got all that. So,
wow, that's a great like analogy. Like, it kind of, I guess, learning it backwards. I'm gonna put that in quotes because she's still doing it, but most people learn to wrestle.
She's a bad wrestler. She's perfectly fine, right? She's not bad. Like, there's some people who you go in and like they're just not coordinated or they're not athletic and they won't be able to do it. Like, she's not one of those people.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't watch it. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. So your homework when we're done here tonight, you have to watch her promo from Wednesday because it's that good. I mean,
I haven't seen the stuff yet, but I've been meaning to, so it'll be fun. I love her. I don't think she's gonna win because I can't see her being the one to beat Mercedes. But I would love if she won. That would be incredible.
Yes, there's an asterisk by this too. I also picked Mercedes also, but if by chance they want to give us that Action Andretti moment and have her win, that would be absurd, like in a good way.
And people would be so happy.
Yeah. Yes. But like you said, if it was anybody but Mercedes,
and especially because Mercedes is undefeated,
right, and has all the belts in the world now, and Harley just won her first match on TV, like
I can't see them doing it, but if they did, I wouldn't be. I would think it was great.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind.
That's not a knock on Mercedes. We love Mercedes. She's a great wrestler.
Absolutely.
But just Harley's hot. There is something to be said for striking when someone is hot. Like, she's really hot right now. Like, she's popular. True. Everyone loves her. She's doing a great job. If Mercedes wasn't Mercedes and didn't have 4 or 5 belts and wasn't undefeated, I would say, let her win, have the belt for a month or two, and she can lose it back. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But just strike while it's hot. But because it's Mercedes and because she's undefeated and because she holds every title, I can't see them doing it. But I mean, go for it. Surprise us. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that's what I said. There's an asterisk by it. If by chance she wins, I would not complain. I wouldn't be like, oh, she doesn't deserve it. She's only been here, blah, blah, blah. No, like, that would be awesome.
Yeah, and wrestling does, not just AEW, wrestling in general has a problem with striking when people get hot, if that's not the plan. If the plan is, X wrestler holds the belt for 8 months and then wrestler Y beats them for it, and out of nowhere, this other guy comes up and is super popular, everyone hesitates to like change their plans to throw the belt to the new popular guy because you have a plan, and like, you should have a plan, of course.
Totally.
But every so often, someone's just gets hot, and like Swerve just got hot. I think they might have pivoted to Swerve. Like, Swerve got hot, and like they ran with it. And I'm not saying Harley Cameron is Swerve, but she's hot right now.
And I mean, talk about Swerve level, like, she's over. Like,
oh, she's so over. She could do anything and the crowd will go nuts. Like, she's super over.
I mean, it's like, I don't want to say it's overnight because I mean, she's been working. Like I said, we talked last week about QTV. Like, she's been honing these skills, but slowly she's stealing the show, if that makes any sense.
For sure. I agree.
I mean, yeah. So, okay, we both have Mercedes. We have the Brisbane Brawl. That's hard to say. Yeah. Copeland and Jay White versus Mox and Claudio. This one,
I do want to say I like that they're stopping with the Cope thing. Like, they still put it on his nameplate, but like, people call him Adam Copeland because Cope is a stupid name.
It's very dumb. Like, he's Copeland or Adam Copeland. Like, I can't call him Cope.
You could call him Cope as like a nickname, but it's not his name.
Exactly. This match came together very nicely. Again, you had homework assignment number 2, just watch the end of what was yesterday? Dynamite. Sorry, I almost said Collision. It's good. And it just fills in the blanks for this match if there were any to fill in. Moxley's a crazy person, and so is Jay White, and Copeland and Claudio they're solid wrestlers, but like this has the match. This has potential to be like the bloodbath, is what I was getting at.
Yeah, I agree. Like Copeland's kind of nuts too. Like he'll do crazy things.
Yeah,
he jumped off a cage and broke his leg. So
right for the TNT title.
Yeah, like the third match on the card or something.
Right. Yeah, like, the guy that's been doing this for 40 years for the TNT title. Yeah, this is. I think Mox is gonna. I think he's gonna put on a show for the Australian crowd, considering they don't get a lot of wrestling shows over there. So I could see this being. You're probably
gonna say I still don't. I'm still not in love with the Death Riders, but getting them involved with Cope and Jay White has helped. Like it's better now.
Yeah. And see, you didn't watch. I will make one. I will have one spoiler. Jay White. How we did not think of this with our stupid, idiotic teenage humor. During their promo, he kept calling them the D Riders, and I laughed every single time. He was like, Mox, you and your D Riders. And I was like, oh, that's funny. And then he just kept saying it every time I laughed. Anyway.
Jay White's another guy who's taking advantage of the time that they gave him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, remember when the internet said he would never be anything? He was awful, and it was the worst signing ever. Huh.
Weird. I mean, they were, I get it. They were not showcasing him as much as they should have, but he's too good to not showcase at some point. So
right,
he's probably smart enough to, like Swerve, to realize, oh, if I just like keep being great, eventually my time comes. And yeah, it did.
Yeah, you just, and I mean, look at the one New Japan guy is working with two. What was Mox, a WWE champion?
Yeah,
like world champion. So 2 former WWE world champions and a legendary WWE tag team champion. Like,
yeah.
And then there's Jay White, the person who couldn't fit in with the big guys.
Yeah, he's the one he's the one. I just realized that now. He's the one non-WWE guy in all of this.
Yeah, that's what I said. And the one that everyone said he can't work their style. Blah blah blah. He would have. He's really good at what he does. It's weird how when you sit at home and just have opinions that nobody cares about and you just yell them really loud on the internet, like eventually someone listens.
Yeah. Especially if you used to be big in wrestling 30 years ago.
Yeah.
If you were, say president of WCW in 1997.
Right.
And then they haven't really done much since that's been super successful. You can just make a living off of saying AEW is bad for 2 hours a week.
And
what a world we live
in. In what, 9 weeks? AEW will have lasted longer than, or Dynamite will have lasted longer than Nitro.
Yeah, I'm sure that's why he's stepping up his insults. He's just hoping.
Well, because in 9 weeks, I mean, if it doesn't end, he has no argument anymore. I mean, as soon as it goes to week 10, you lost, buddy. Sorry.
Not to go sidetrack, but I love his all. They're not getting a new TV deal. They're not getting a new TV deal. Oh, they got a new TV deal? Well, they suck anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Come on. If I was there, it would be worth $3 billion. Oh, they got $3 billion. Shit. It'd be worth 17 billion. Yeah, I would have got
it. It reminds me of that Bart's people when he's covering the news and he goes, I just think veterans deserve a day to honor them. They have Veterans Day. They should have 2 days. They also have Memorial Day. Well, maybe they should have 3.
Exactly. Exactly.
Anyway, I think Copeland wins.
Oh, you think Copeland wins? See,
because they're building them up for Revolution. I think Copeland's going to pin Mox so that they can say, "Ooh, he pinned Mox. Could he beat him for the title?" And then he won't. But that's how they're going to hype up the Revolution match.
See, I have Mox and Claudio. Hold on, I have to write down your. Yeah, I think Mox and Claudio, because that's how I the exact opposite. I think they build the Revolution match on Mox beating him and telling him that he doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that.
It's just weird how we both went without speaking beforehand. It was legit.
I think they build into it that Copeland pins him or something, and then it's just like, oh, I mean, I got your number. You think that
right.
you've been running roughshod over all of AEW for so long, but like, look, I just beat you. I can do it again.
Hey, that's
and I think it's a pretty safe prediction to say Wheeler Yuta somehow runs in and gets beaten up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that's
what happens.
I mean, it's a Brisbane brawl. Actually,
we don't even know what that is, do we?
They kind of explain.
I'm assuming it's like a Falls Count Anywhere, hardcore.
Yeah, no hardcore. Yeah. Which, with that being said, I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. It's Mox. There'll probably be barbed wire and tacks, and
there'll be a fork. There'll be those. There'll be skewers.
Yeah, Mox will bring out one of those like giant Australian spiders to bite somebody or something. Oh my God, he has a boa constrictor. Like, where'd he get that? Oh,
and he just
comes running into the ring with a giant great white. Where'd he get that? Oh, it's just outside. It's Australia. It's the Wild West. Oh, it's amazing. That's our first deviation.
There you go.
Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega versus Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher. Again, talk about poetry in motion. This match is going to be 27 stars. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let you start. Who do you got? And then
this is a hard one because
it was.
They're so like they're all so good. Kenny Omega kind of just came back, and you want to push him as you rightfully should as one of the best wrestlers in the company. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Will Ospreay. Like, Will Ospreay is one of the best wrestlers in the company too. That's not anything against Takeshita or Kyle Fletcher. They're all great. Right. Like, they're all really good. I think Omega and Fletcher lose because I think they lose and then they argue with each other, and then you end up in a feud between the two of them again.
Okay, so you said Omega and Fletcher. You mean Takeshita?
Sorry, I mean Omega. No, sorry, I mean Omega and Ospreay.
Ospreay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
I think Omega and Ospreay lose. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then they end up in a feud with each other again because I just want to see them wrestle each other again. So that's what I'm manifesting here.
Well, I'm with you too. I also picked Takeshita and Fletcher to win. Because I think they're going to make a statement on who Kyle Fletcher is, and that is the future of the company.
Yeah, he's so good.
And I think they let him win. Now that you said Omega and Ospreay like have a little tension and get, oh man, that'd be incredible.
Yeah, I can see Lance Archer or Brian Cage or someone else, Don Callis, trying to interfere in the match, and like Ospreay tries to stop him and can't quite stop him, or Omega tries to stop him and can't quite. And then there's a moment where he drops the screwdriver and Fletcher picks it up, and Omega turns around and thinks he's going to hit him with it, and then there's some tension, and then they lose. I just want them to have a match with each other. So.
Yeah, I'm with you on that 100%. Like, I don't care how they get there. Yeah. It doesn't even need to be a build. They could argue at Saturday, and then I wouldn't want them to wrestle again on Wednesday because that would be terrible for them. But like maybe the following Wednesday, give them a week off.
Yeah. I think what Tony Khan has learned from the 2022 year, where kind of everyone just got injured, and then all this stuff with Punk happened, and then later Omega's been out for a while. I think the thing Tony Khan probably learned is, yes, you have to wait to build up storylines because it makes them better, but also if you have Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay and they're not wrestling each other, like maybe they should just be wrestling each other. Like, so just go for it.
If you can do it, do it. Yeah, and why not? That's what a crutch to have in your back pocket. Like, let's just have, let me see, Omega and Ospreay go again. Yeah, okay, good main event. Yeah, let's do that. Like,
now these four guys, like, say you book them all in singles matches against literally anyone, right? Like it was Takeshita against someone, Fletcher against someone, Ospreay against someone. Like that's half a pay-per-view card right there, and they would all be good matches. Like you could just book those 4 against anyone else on the roster, just pick someone, line them up, and that's half a pay-per-view, and I would pay money for that.
Totally. Now that you say
like, if
that,
you tell me Kenny Omega or Will Ospreay's in a match, I'm like, I want to watch that match. Doesn't matter who it is. I just want to watch it.
You're correct. I mean, there again, I know the internet tells us that AEW doesn't have stories or anything, but in a situation like that, I don't need to see anything other than that's happening and when, so I can watch it. That's the only thing I need to know. When do I need to turn the television on?
AEW is for me, it's the perfect mix of like outstanding wrestling and story. Like they have storylines. The stupid idea that they don't is stupid, right? Like it's like there's other companies who basically do one or the other, right? They do a lot of storylines or they do a lot of great wrestling. AEW they've settled on a really good blend now, where for a while they've maybe leaned in a little too much to the wrestling aspect and no stories, and then for a while they leaned a little bit too much into the stories and didn't have as much fun. And now they've kind of figured it out, and it's just such a great blend of just everything. It's back to what I want from a wrestling show. If I could make up a wrestling show, this is what I would want it to be.
And it's, once you said that, it just dawned on me this second that it's an Americanized version of Japanese / American wrestling, like old American, like not sports entertainment, like 70s and 80s NWA type Mid-South wrestling, and Japanese like strong style, but with the American stories. Like it is like the perfect American company, like wrestling wise.
I was listening to the Cultaholic podcast, not to go off topic too far. Not Cultaholic, I think it was What Culture. And not to go too off our topic, they were talking about the recent releases, Miro and Malachi Black and Ricky Starks, and whether or not AEW dropped the ball on any of them, and basically said they didn't really. I agree. They gave them all opportunities, which I agree with. But one of the things they pointed out was someone like, and that's not offense to any of the 3 of them. They're all great wrestlers. They're all great talents. Like you would want them in your company if you could have them in your company. I'm not saying bad things about them just because they're leaving AEW. Like I think they're all great. But the level of wrestling that someone like Danielson when he was there, or Ospreay or Omega or Takeshita now, or Kyle Fletcher, like, or Mercedes for the women, the quality of wrestling match they can put on in a main event, for someone to be an AEW main eventer, they have to be able to at least hang with that.
True. Like
Swerve can have a match with Danielson or Ospreay and do a great job. So like, he's up there. Sure, put him up there with the main eventers too, because he can do it. He can wrestle a great match with any of them. What they were saying is, like, as much as Miro or Malachi Black or even Ricky Starks are great wrestlers, they're not Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, Takeshita, and that's the level that AEW's main event scene is at right now. Like, you have to be that good to be in main events in AEW, and very few people can do that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. That's a good point. And to counterpoint that, they do work in the other system though. In the WWE system, like
if you put Will Ospreay in WWE, he would be just as successful as he is in AEW for sure.
Yeah, they do cross over. But some people only work one way. And I think Ricky Starks would be, out of the group that just left, I think Ricky is still going to be a star, but he's definitely more cut to the WWE jib.
I agree. Yeah. Like, I think he had great matches. He had a great match with CM Punk. He had a great match with MJF. He had a great match with Danielson. Like, he can do great wrestling. I just think that first of all, he fits better in WWE. He just does. But also the level of, you have to now be able to hang with Will Ospreay. Like, Will Ospreay kind of changed the scene for AEW. Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega, obviously, but he's been there since the beginning. Now you have to be like, is your match going to be as good as Will Ospreay's match? No, then maybe you shouldn't be main eventing the show. Oh, Swerve, your match is going to be good as Will Ospreay's match. Okay, that's fine. You get to main event. Like, that's fair. But, like, you have to be able to have a match as good as Will Ospreay can, because otherwise, why are we not just having Will Ospreay there? You know what I mean? Like, he's right. I don't know.
Well, just this past week, again, we're going off subject. I'll roll back in here in a second. It was announced that Kevin Owens signed an extension with WWE, and me and you have talked on here. We thought he was going to jump,
right,
went to finish with his buddies. But you say something like that, maybe he read the writing on the wall. Like, okay, yeah, I could sign there and hang with my buddies, but I ain't going to be on TV as much because, I'm at the end of my career, and these guys are all like Kyle Fletcher's and
right.
And Ospreay's like
he's doing perfectly well for himself in WWE. If he was if he was struggling, if he was like not getting booked, maybe he would. But like he is,
right.
he's
he's former world champion. Like, why not sign there and just do your thing? Like, you could hang out with your buddies when you retire.
And we sound like we're knocking them. We're not knocking any of them. Like, they're all good.
No,
If any of them were available, I would say that they should work for AEW. I'm not saying that they're not good wrestlers or I don't want them on TV just because they're not in AEW. They're bad. I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I think particularly Ospreay and now Takeshita and Fletcher and people like that have just they've set a really high bar.
And not to be funny, like, it's the same thing with Cody. Like, Cody. And I mean, it was before obviously the Ospreys and everybody were here, but Cody's a great wrestler, but he oversells the sports entertainment aspect. Right. And once the AEW fan base turned on him, unless he just would come out and say, you know what, I'm going to not use the mic ever again. That would have been the only way I think he could have gone.
The AEW fan base is also less forgiving, I think, than the WWE fan base, and that's not like, again, I'm not trying to take shots at people, but like when they had The Rock come back before WrestleMania last year and just take Cody's title shot, and everyone hated that, and then they just reversed it, which was the right thing to do. To revert, like, the initial idea was stupid, so reversing the idea made sense. But the audience kind of just forgave them, like, okay, you made a mistake and you changed it, and we're going to roll with what you're telling us now. I think the AEW audience wouldn't. I think the AEW audience would be like, no, you did something stupid. We're just going to hate it.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, that's what they did with Cody. Like, Cody did some stupid things, and they were just like, we're just not forgiving you. We're just gonna be mad at you forever now. Like,
yeah. I think Cody has. I don't know if he'll ever come back.
I think if he came back, he would get a pop just for coming back.
Oh yeah, I mean, but I don't know if he will at this point.
Yeah, it is kind of bad to like make your own company with your friends, and then the fans are like, "Yeah, but we don't like you."
Right.
Then I can totally understand. He's like, "Fine, I'm just going to the other place, and I can be world champion there."
But it'll take 3 years.
Yeah,
he had to earn it over there. Yes. Anyway, back on
Grand Slam.
Back on track. Grand Slam, our main event. Which, come on, AEW, that make this the main event.
Yeah, they have to make this the main event.
Yeah. Women's World Championship. Mariah May versus Timeless Toni Storm. This one's easy. I think Toni Storm wins.
Yeah, Toni Storm. If Toni Storm doesn't win, they better have a good angle to explain. Like, it better be like the greatest storyline of all time to explain why she doesn't win. Because
totally. That being said, how great is her character?
Oh, she's so good. And Mariah May's so good. Like, we talk about Toni Storm all the time because she's amazing. Yeah. But like, this wouldn't work if Mariah May also wasn't good, right? Like, she's doing a great. Like, when a couple weeks ago Toni Storm did the match as Mariah May,
so good.
Toni Storm did an incredible job of it, but it worked even better because Mariah May did an incredible job selling it. Like, she was upset by it, she was annoyed by it. She thought, like, if she had just been like, "Yeah, this is stupid," and just like, then it wouldn't have worked, right? It would have looked stupid. But because she sold it so well, she sold it as like, this personally hurt her, that it made it better.
Yeah. Oh, this is just, it's gonna be so good.
I do want the third match between them to be Toni Storm being Mariah May and Mariah May being Toni Storm.
That would be incredible.
Because that would be hilarious.
That
I just
would
want
be
them to do it.
That would be so awesome. Is there a third match?
I think that kind of has to be, because Mariah May won in her home country, and then presumably Toni Storm will win in her home country. I think they have to do a third one, maybe at All In or something.
I was going to say, and then
they have their final match.
Oh, I cannot wait. Yeah, I agree. I think Toni Storm wins too. And I mean, we've talked about this before. Like, who dethrones her? I mean, she's legend. She's a living legend right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I could see maybe Mercedes, but like it wouldn't go over well. Like if Toni Storm wins the title, she's gonna have to keep it for a while because people like her so much.
Yeah.
That if she kept it for a month and then lost it, people would be mad at whoever beat her for it because they just like her so much.
Agreed. Like I would almost in Toni Storm fashion, I would almost, if they were going to do something like that, want to have her win it and then just be like, you know what, I'm done. I don't want the title anymore. Just somebody else can have it, please. It's too heavy. Like just do her thing. Be like, it gets taken at the airport all the time. Just, you know what, I don't need it.
Because whoever beats her has to be, as over
at least
as she is. Right.
At least that hard. Entertaining. Yeah. Like, again, Harley Cameron, I mean, that would be an amazing feud, but you can't give her the world champion.
Yeah, I mean, if you could hold it off for 8 months or a year, maybe. I don't know. But does Toni Storm hold the title for a year? I don't think she does.
Not a second time.
I don't know who beats her for it. And Mercedes is the only one who I think could, because anyone else, it wouldn't go over well.
Yeah. And unless they have something up their sleeve that, we don't know about yet.
Yeah.
Like if, there's after this feud, the next feud's already in the, in the works on what it's going to be. But as of now,
they could build someone up because like they built up Mariah May. They could build someone up to the point where you're just like, oh yeah, now I want to see them beat Toni. Like they could do that. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
it has to be a heel though, because everyone loves Toni so much. I was thinking, like Willow or Stat, but like you risk people turning on them.
Yeah.
Because everyone just loves Toni so much. So I think Willow or Stat would probably have to beat Mercedes, and then Mercedes would have to go after Toni. That's the only thing that currently would make sense to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Because Mercedes is a heel. Like if you hate her for taking the title off Toni Storm, like that's fine. You're supposed to.
And she's a big enough heel. Like I was thinking maybe like Deanna, but like not that Deanna's not big enough to be world champion. I don't think she's big enough heel yet.
Yeah, and not to beat Toni Storm. If she had beat Toni Storm, before she was timeless, old Toni Storm women's champion, that would make sense. That would be fine. Yeah. But I think you can't do it now.
Yeah, this character, no way. It's too good.
And I want to know what I kind of want her to win it and then lose it in 6 months because I want to know what happens next. Just because she's got to have something after that. I don't know what it'll be, but it'll be fun. Yeah, she's so good.
She is so good. Like this 2.5 year stretch has been, I mean, not only very fun, but so entertaining.
It's been a long feud too. So for anyone who's like, oh, they don't have dim depth feuds, like they clearly do. And this is one of them. It's great. Good stuff. I love it.
Really good stuff. Any final thoughts before we close up shop?
No, it'll be fun. It's weird because first of all, it's airing in Australia, so it's already going to be over by the time we get to see it.
Right.
And then we don't even actually know when it's on because it's on after the NBA All-Star stuff. Yeah. We don't know how long that'll go. Could it be 10:30, 11? Like we don't really know.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to watch it the next day.
I'm 100%. That's what I was just going to say. I was going to throw a little warning out there for the review show. I'm either going to watch Sunday or Monday, so it might not be till our normal time next week, or if everybody watches it before, we might have one out before. But yeah, people got to watch it. So
yeah, but it is going to be good. Like I do want to watch
it's gonna
it.
Be great. Oh yeah, I'm definitely watching.
It's more awkward to watch than like a regular show.
Yes. Especially,
and I can see Tony Khan's point why it's like it doesn't really. It's like I said, if they'd sold 50,000 tickets, they would have had a pay-per-view. Like they would have
1,000%.
But I can see his point of like it's hard to do a pay-per-view in Australia when like the time is just so different that you can't show it live. Like I think he said if we aired this live, it would be like 2:30 in the morning, and no one's like that. So I mean, some people do stay up. Like people wake up to watch New Japan shows at 2:30 in the morning. So like that does happen. But
AKA you.
I've done it. Yeah.
I was gonna say you've done it.
Yeah, I stayed up to watch the one where Mercedes came out, and then it was Osprey and Omega, so I had to watch it.
And I mean, that was well worth it.
It was I was exhausted, but it was so fun.
Yeah.
It'll be a good show.
Yeah, I agree. It'll be a great show. Thank you everybody for the new subscribers. Thank you. We are at Elite City Pod on all social media. We are also on YouTube. Check us out over there. It's still Elite City Pod over there, correct, Rick?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yes. So check us out over there. It is just the audio of these. So if you don't want to fire up your phone, you could, if you're at work or something, we are on YouTube and it's the same, just banter. So
it's the exact same podcast, just on YouTube.
Yep.
Sometimes we chop it up a little bit when we have time, but not always. But the full one is always on YouTube.
If everybody enjoyed Grand Slam this week, interact with us online and we'll interact back. Well, I'm sure we'll be talking about Grand Slam over the weekend. So
do you
hit
think
us
the
up.
Puppet makes it over, the Mercedes puppet?
Well, see, that's why you need to watch. You need to watch the goddamn promo.
I'm worried now. I'm worried about the fate of the Mercedes puppet because I know bad things have happened to him. I'm a little scared.
Oh no, there's nothing to worry about. I can tell you that.
Right.
We'll spoil that.
Good.
But
good.
You need.
Because I was worried about it. I saw some stuff online about it possibly being damaged. So I'm happy.
No, it's amazing.
All right, great.
So enjoy the show, everybody, this weekend, and until next week. Later.